Welcome, everybody, to the March Madness preview special on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today, we're going to look at the first round matchup between the number 3 from the SEC, Kentucky Wildcats, who have made no noise in the NCAA tournament since 2019. They're going to battle the 14th seeded Troy Trojans, who were 23-10, finished third in the Sun Belt Conference, but ended up winning the conference tournament. Now, the most exciting time of the year in Kentucky is March Madness, right? It's the way it's been for the last 50 years. Kentucky, Louisville. Really, the last few years, though, Louisville and Kentucky have been down. Kentucky has been upset by teams like the Oakland Grizzlies. Now, though, both teams under new coaches, Mark Pope and Pat Kelsey, both look ready to make a little bit of noise in March Madness. Now, for the Kentucky Wildcats, this starts with their first game against the Troy Trojans in Milwaukee. The game time is set for 7:10 on Friday night. Now, landing the number 3 seed in the Midwest, the Cats had an impressive resume that helped them seal that top 3 seed. And I know they're coming off a bad loss to Alabama, but that was without Lamont Butler. And the thing about losing early in your conference tournament is you do get to rest. And we've seen a lot of teams in the past that win a conference tournament where you have to win 3, 4, even 5 games in some tournaments now, have a tendency to lose on the first weekend. Well, Kentucky didn't have to worry about that because of the big loss to Alabama. Now, you have to feel good heading into this matchup, especially with what looks like the return of Lamont Butler. And Lamont Butler is huge for this team. Adding Butler back changes the trajectory completely for this team, as he not only brings tons of ball handling experience, but he also brings plenty of NCAA experience from, San Diego State's run to the Final Four a few years back. Add that in with the continued dominance of Amari Williams and the growth of Kobe Berea in his new role, and a run to the second weekend feels like a pretty good shot here for the Kentucky Wildcats. However, they will have to knock off a talented Troy team. Winning the Sun Belt Conference title to earn the automatic bid, the Trojans will be making their third all-time appearance against the Cats in Wisconsin and their first since 2017 in the NCAA tournament. So, 3 tournaments, that's all they've had. No real success there. I know a lot of people are looking at this game. I just saw something where Oklahoma's Jack Goki, or whatever the hell his name is, that hit all the threes, picks Troy to beat the Kentucky Wildcats. There's a problem there. And that problem is Troy shoots less than 30% from three-point range. Now, they're a great defensive basketball team. That is absolutely true. They only average 74 points per game, though. They shoot 43% on the season. Defensively, though, they've averaged getting 14 turnovers per game, which includes an average of 9 steals per game. That is represented in their KenPom rating as they finished in the top 100 in the country at 98. That includes them at 153rd in offensive efficiency and 71st in defensive efficiency. With only 2 players averaging over 10 points per game, though, this matchup seems to come down to slowing down the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year, Conaway, and Miles Rigsby. They're the only double-digit scorers. If you slow them down and you don't turn the ball over, a game like that Oakland game a year or 2 ago cannot happen again. Now, as we have learned with that Oakland game, you can't take anything for granted, but I feel really good about Kentucky here, and I feel really good about only having to give 10.5 points. I think this is a game that Kentucky wins in the 82-58 range. I think if you look at the top 4 teams, or the top 4 conference teams, which were Oregon, and I forget who the other one was, though, but they played 3 big-time programs, and they got blown out in all 3 of those games. So I saw them play Oregon, which was like a 20 or more point loss. I think it's a pretty safe bet here to bet the Kentucky Wildcats minus 10.5. I think they win the game. I think they advance to the second round, and there's a really good shot this team could get on a roll as long as Lamont Butler stays healthy. All right, guys, if you want to check out the best sportsbook for betting on this game, go to BetMGM, one of the top-rated sportsbooks out there. You can click on the link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube to go there to bet the games. Make sure you follow me on X at Grueling Truth. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification on YouTube. Check out thegruelingtruth.com. But for now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.